I just walked in, as you know, and have missed a lot of discussion. So I just would just like to give you my opinion on how I think we ought to proceed with tax policy here in the state as it relates to the oil industry and the development of our resources. I think you ought to focus on having tax policy that has incentives, that does something to reverse the decline in production, and that ought to be I guess the number one goal. I think you all need to do your homework. I know that you're elected to do that, and we're relying on you because none of us will, in this environment, have the same facts that you will have. We're relying on you to do your homework. I hope both sides of the aisle work together. It's an issue that affects all of us and will affect our livelihoods and the general future of the state. So, if reviewing the tax policy is a necessary thing, I don't think it's necessarily to change it as an absolute point. It may be that it needs to be, but I don't think having as an objective to change it makes sense. Look at it first, find out why it is not producing results, get that information out to the public so we can understand it as well. And the other thing is look at the regimes that are existing as alternatives to the industry. Get that information to us as well so we can help understand the decision.
Thank you. I think, and I'm going to leave it with that. I'm just have a closing statement with Joe and Scott. I think the three of us and most of the other people that I've talked with are going down with a show me. Because at this point, there's so many things on the table. I want to see as much information as I can to make the right decision for the state of Alaska. You know, I mean, I have my preferences, what I like to see. If we don't get there, do I, you know, the difference between us and you basically is we get to push the yes or no button, because you've experienced that before. So something that's right for the state, that makes sense, that I can justify to myself and to my friends is really what's important to me. Just make it quick.
Real quick. I think we shouldn't be at all distracted by the oil companies talking about regime or tax changes, because what we want is thousands of new producers, explorers, what they'll be looking at is number one, access. If that's there in place, there's plenty of reserves, there's plenty of capital available, and they'll come flooding up, and whether or not you change up a half percentage point or not, they're not even looking at that. That barely even plays into the calculation. If they have access, they have stability, product, and capital, so it'll happen if we take out the roadblock of the access. So I don't think you need to worry about them calculating, oh, are they going to change up the taxes on us? Well, not enough to kill it, you know. There's still windfall profits, but the way world peak oil is going, it's only going to go up for both gas and petroleum. You don't really need to worry about it. It's not like, don't let that play into your calculation, you know, how many times we're going to change policy. We need to change it until it's fair for us. And that's what any governing body does, is they have the right to come back and make it right for us. Don't worry about the oil companies saying, oh, you changed the tax policy again. Don't be listening to them anymore.
Andy, did you have something?
I was just wondering when the fund started, when everything's done, that the oil companies take up everything and it's left so that you don't see their footprint out there.
Yeah, there was funding. This is one of Richard's favorites. It was called the DRNR, and it was out there. And theoretically, when the pipeline's done and empty, they have put the money aside to take up the pipe and take up the pads and revegetate. And is that a reality? Will that ever actually happen? Probably not in my life. Richard?
I'll just say one word, which is pipeline tariffs, and I could repeat everything that Lisa has said about access, but I think enough of you know me that you'll be screaming, shut up. I will. Pipeline tariffs need to be fixed if you want to get independence in, because that is the big access bottleneck, or a big access that is very different from the field access.
Are you talking about the Lakeview line?
Trans-Alaska
And is it a
pipeline.
problem with the ARC? RCA? Is it a
No, the
problem?
RCA is great. The
Great.
problems
What-
with the state getting behind what the RCA has done.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
And that's the legislature you're talking about? You mean that? Or the
No.
administration?
The
The
administration.
committee,
It's basically acting on
the DNR?
just recognizing what's going on. DRNR is only one aspect of the tariff.
All the
It's huge.
agencies?
I think this isn't the place to be talking about that on tariffs.
So what's the main statement that the public needs to know, the general public, about the discussions going on, or this issue? I mean, the simplest terms, what's the general public need to know about this issue?
Well, I think in the next month, we're gonna see the issues played out. The public should be educated, listen to both sides, listen to what's going on, form an educated opinion, and tell us, tell the legislature. There's ways of getting in touch with us. We talked about them a little bit at the beginning, through our offices, through emails. You can watch through the gavel. It's available in different places. And we come home.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you for holding it.
Thank you for being here.